Beauty. What's up? I hope Canada's treating you well. Happy Monday. It's been a hell of a Monday. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining, everyone. Happy Monday. Hello, hello. Oh, safe travel, safe drive. That's awesome. Just in time, back for the summer. All right, welcome everybody, welcome. Yes, you need to teach me how to do that. I'm like the worst. All I know is how to post and that's it. And post in the stories. But hello everyone, hello. I'm on my way back now. Wait. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll see you soon. Thanks everyone for joining in. It is Monday. I have a really dope guest today. There she is. All right. Hey B. Yay. So, Akissa, I'm going to give everyone like a few minutes so people can join in shortly, slowly. It's Monday, so I'm so happy to be here with you all today. As you guys know, hey Mama, I moved my Fearless Fridays to Motivation Mondays because it is the summertime. I know everyone's out and about, and I wanted to keep the same energy for the guests that I bring in. So I wanted to make sure that I held it on a day where, you know, everyone was home chilling. It's the beginning of the week, right? So everyone's, you know, in the house pretty much working from home or just getting home or heading home. So I wanted to give, you know, that same energy to my guests moving forward. I wanted them to be able to have a good audience while we have, you know, our great conversation. So we are here today. So I think I'm going to let her in without further ado. And I want to give a shout out to DWI, who gave me my shot at his network, The Matrix. So that's why I'm here today. And I want to give a shout out to to Veronica. She is on right now. Thank you, Mama. And she is someone who's become very special in my life right now. I was looking, as I shared with you guys before, I was looking for a fit crew. And God told me that day, get up and take it behind to the park and go for a walk. And I bumped into V, and I bumped into her great community, and I've been going ever since, and I've lost some pounds, and you know, we're still going, we're still at it. But more importantly, you know, she's teaching all of us how to stay not only fit, but how to stay healthy, how to stay motivated, how to stay positive. So it's been quite a fun journey, and I've met, you know, so many amazing people during the process. So I can't wait to, you know, enjoy the rest of the summer with everyone. So I hope to have her on my live soon. So we'll talk about it, V. Thank you, babe. All thanks to you. So I'm gonna let in Akissa right now. Akissa is my guest today, and she is third of the R&B group ALLURE. So I'm super excited to have her on. I actually haven't seen her since she came live on set at my show. So I'm so excited to chop it up with her. I know she's been working on some amazing things. She's also really in tune with herself and self-love and you know, spirituality and things like that, which I love. So I can't wait to have a conversation with her. So without further ado, let me let her in. All right. Thank you, everybody, joining in. So let's see, view. All right. So I'm going to let her in now. And I hope everyone hears me well. I think you do. Oh, the volume was a little low. Hey!
Hi, Mama.
Look at you. I'm so jealous that you are at the beach. I was there yesterday, though.
For real?
Yeah, I was.
Today was my mental break day with the family, so I was like, I'll just stay there. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You look beautiful. I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm relaxed now. I'm actually like in a really, really good space today. I say today because the past couple of weeks have been kind of like really dark for me. So just
Oh
coming,
no, I'm so
yeah.
sorry to hear that.
No, you know, my mom's anniversary, everything for me like happens back to back. My mom's death anniversary is the 17th of June, and then a couple of days after is Father's Day, and I don't have both my parents, so I never get a break. Yeah. So like
Right.
today, we came out today to just like relax and just like kind of just like throw it away in a sense.
Yeah, well that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And I'm so sorry for that, but
Thank you.
they're with God and the angels, and that's
Yeah.
all we can,
And they're
we
here.
can yeah, that's all we can hope and pray for. So
Right.
I hope that today you also get some great positive energy off of this live.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank
I miss
you.
you.
I
It's been
miss you
so
too.
long.
I haven't seen you since Chloe's event in Brooklyn.
Yes, that's right. Actually, that is
Yeah.
right. We didn't get to talk much that day,
I know.
but
I know. It was crazy.
yeah. But I'm glad to see you now. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. I appreciate you
Yeah,
asking me.
of course, of course. So let's get right to it.
Okay.
I guess you can. I did a little intro for you, but I guess you can, share more about who you are, what you do, a little bit of your background, and maybe like the history. What made you become an artist and have a passion for it and things like that.
Well, again, my name is Akissa. I pretty much started, well, thinking I could sing. um, when I was like maybe 5 or so. Um, my mom and my family were very musical. So like I grew up on a lot of like, a lot of like salsa, merengue, the usual for Latinos.
Yeah.
But a lot of like also like Barbra Streisand and Motown, like the doo-wop stuff from my uncle. Um, I was the little girl with my sister that always went to like my uncle's all boys club after school. He had this club after Fridays. It was like a safe haven for kids in the neighborhood on 117th Street. It was LaGuardia House Nursery and also the junior high school or the elementary school. Um, so like I was just that kid that just like was always with family, always around music. And it wasn't until I met the girls when we were in school, like our parents all connected somehow through like social working and different things or whatever. And we used to always sing together. And it was just to the point that we went through like rehearsals with different girls. And my sister, my blood sister, was actually a part of the group for quite some time. And then when we got into high school, our parents was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're constantly rehearsing, constantly like jodiendo, so to speak.
Right.
And they were like, just take it seriously and like try to pursue a career. And that at that point when we were like rehearsing at this community center in the Bronx, we met Pope from the Frat Masters. He came over to our rehearsal and he watched us like rehearse and stuff, and he was like really intrigued, and he asked us what our name was, and he was not feeling it because our name at first was so intense, and he was like, yeah, that's so not cool, so we're gonna change that. But ever since then, shortly after that, we started recording our album. Like it happened so fast for us, and so many people felt like, oh, that you guys didn't really work hard for it, but we did. Like we went through hell and high water to like kind of like identify with who we wanted to be and mold like the image and stuff like that. So we went through a whole lot, but Pope was the one that kind of found us and brought us to Tone, and then that's how we met Mariah. And then from Mariah, the rest was history. Everything kind of like skyrocketed from. It was a roller coaster ride from that point on.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And by Mariah, everyone, she means Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey, yeah.
Yes, that's so amazing. That's so cool. So definitely, music was at the heart of your course since a young age.
Yeah, it always was. We just never really like. Honestly, never really thought that we would take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, like I said, like our parents were like, "You guys sound really, really amazing, and should really like, kind of like consider taking it serious and making it a part of your career." And that's when we started taking it a little bit more seriously. And then we started like kind of like owning into our craft and getting really serious with it or whatever. And it just become like the second part of our heart after that, and it's been that way ever since.
That's awesome. So were all you guys so the original, you guys were all childhood friends?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since
awesome.
very little. And we basically just, grew up. That's why we're still together now, even though there was 4 and there's now 3, but it's still the 3 original. And we kept it that way. People used to always ask, like, oh, why you don't find the 4th girl? And we're like, for what? Like it didn't really make or break our sound. It didn't really make or break what we had, So we wanted to kind of keep it together, and, we're sisters at heart. So at the end of the day, it's not like we're 3 friends that were just put together like, oh, learn to like her. We love each other. Like we're like there's no way we're going anywhere. That was our thing, So like I said, through hell and high water, we keep it pushing, and we've gone through our our trials and tribulations, as they say, but we're still here, you know, still pushing.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you guys already have great chemistry. Like, why break that? Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. So for
Yeah.
everyone who's tuning in now, this is Akissa. She is the third member of one of three of Allure, the
Yeah.
R&B group. And yeah, so we're chopping it up today with her. She's sharing with us her history and how she became, you know, how she got into the group. So now we know that they all knew each other, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, it showed. It showed through the music that you know you guys were making, how passionate you were. I know that, you know, as everyone like all cried out was like my favorite song
Aw.
ever. Yes, I
Yeah.
used to sing my lungs off every time the song came on. So you
As
guys
we did.
have had really great success, and it's, you know, it's so awesome to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so how was the journey once you guys started making music and started getting into the industry? And, you know, like, were there any times where you guys bumped heads, or were you always in sync creatively? Tell us a little bit about all of that.
Um, we definitely bumped heads a lot, but that's also what we always say is a part of the beauty of who we are, because there's never been a time where we could be in a situation and somebody tries us, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and try to say, well, you guys should go over here or you should go over here, because we've had those situations where we've had people like try to be in each other's ear and say like one of us should be over here and one of us should leave the group and do whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're so in sync and so in love with one another, and I use that term very strong. I don't use it loosely. Like as
Mm-hmm.
sisters and as friends, like we go through our crap, we argue, and we don't always agree, you know, because that's not realistic. But
Right.
at the end of the day, we know each other enough to say that we know, like I know for myself that I know that if I'm going through a certain point in my life, that I can call Leah and say, look, I'm going through this. Can you help me fix it? Because I don't really know where I'm going. Or I'll call Lolly and say the same thing. So we all know how to bounce off of one another to fix
Mm-hmm.
whatever issue is there. And sometimes it takes longer than what people might assume that it should take. But
Right.
because we've been through so much, and we say it all the time, like the industry hasn't treated us fairly, or I guess 100% nice, but who does? But at the same time, we have made our mistakes along the way as well. So, and we take 100% ownership for that. We take responsibility. And you know at this point, it's like, we're women of certain ages. So we've gotten to a point where we're like, we didn't do this the right way, so now, because we know what it is now we know better. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so whatever situation that comes about, we try to just make sure that everything is like copacetic, so to speak, and everything is right, and everybody has, if it's a song, make sure everybody has their points. If it's this, make sure everybody is clear on what's going on before we move forward, because we've had a lot of situations where things weren't the way they were supposed to be.
Right, right. Now,
So now we
before
know.
we, yeah, now before we fast forward to now, let's talk a little bit about, because I'm sure, you know, we may have some artists on here that want to know, you know, how was the industry? I know you just talked about it a little bit, but how was
Yeah.
the industry back then compared to now? I know a lot of artists said that there's some shady stuff going on. Do you
Yeah.
think that now people have a lesser of an opportunity to get into the music biz? How do you feel?
um I think I can speak for everybody when I say this, but I definitely, when we first came out, um, there was more of a machine, so to speak. Like when we came out, you had everybody working together. You had the A&Rs, you had distribution, you had people that were in the street teams going out in the street, putting up your stickers and things like that. I think now it's more so of an independent vibe. Like if you can
Yeah.
if you can if you can support your career and invest money into it and make it happen, then great, so be it. Because that's always I think at this point, especially nowadays, that's the best thing for you, because everything comes back to you,
Yeah.
unless you have a team and you have to pay your team, which is great. But back then there was so much more promotion involved and so much more of a family situation.
Hmm.
I think, you know what I mean. Like right now, it's like every man for themselves, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Um, so like back then, when we were with Mariah, it was Crave and Sony. So it was basically like two labels working together to make sure that label and that artist got out there and got the recognition and promotion that they needed. You know,
Hmm.
now it's almost like, okay, invest in yourself, or be lucky if you know somebody who knows somebody.
Right.
I feel like this industry is very divided in a way where, if, like I said, if you know people who know people, there's like certain cliques that stick together and they look out for one another. But if you're somebody who I guess to them that fell off or was like a one hit wonder or whatever, it's harder for you to get back in there and reintroduce yourself.
Right.
You know, and we always say with us, we've always had to reintroduce ourselves because we've been through so many label situations. You know, from a lot of people don't know that we were signed to LaFace first. That didn't work out, and then from there it was Mariah, and then after Mariah it was Columbia. I'm sorry, MCA, then Columbia, and then True Roy with Ron Artest. You know,
Wow.
so I think a lot of people took that. Some people took it like, I'm guessing like, oh, they don't know what to do with themselves. But then another group of people that kind of took it like, well, they're still pushing, they're still trying.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's our main thing. Like we get that everybody is not going to be for us. Everybody's not going to like what we put out. But at the end of the day, we love music and we love to put out great music, and we're going to always try to do that. That's our main thing. You know what I mean? And whatever makes us happy is the best thing for us at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point. I think you guys are keeping pushing. I think that's the most important thing. You know, this is your passion. You know, this is like what you love doing.
Right.
And you know, things happen. Things happen
Exactly.
just like in every situation, just like in a relationship, in any way, like things happen. And also the music industry has changed a lot from back then. So I could imagine, and especially, you know, what you're saying now, it may be a little difficult now, especially New York City. I feel like the New York City market is so difficult to get into in any type of way. Like I was interviewing oh my god, Roxy, she's on Philly, in the Philly station, and she was saying the same thing, and she's in radio. She's like, you know, New York City's oversaturated, you know, and it's just a little difficult sometimes. So but I'm so proud of you ladies. Like you have definitely kept it pushing. Yes.
Thank you.
So, was All Cried Out your breakthrough record, or do you have another record that you also absolutely love that you felt like it did pretty well?
It's funny because every time somebody asks us that, we always do the same thing. It always depended on what market we hit. Like for some reason, like All Cried Out was our biggest hit. But like when we came out head over heels, like our first major concert was Solar Sisters or Sisters of Soul or whatever at Madison Square Garden. That was our first major. And when I tell you that we were like cagando encima, like we were like, if I can say it, shitting bricks, because it was like, it's New York. We're from New York, and we were like, what if we get booed? What if we, you know what I mean? We were nervous. And when we came out there, they showed us so much love. And like you said, for New York has always been hard to break through.
Yeah.
You know, when we went overseas, it was like giving a baby cake and saying, eat it. You know what I mean? Like out there, they're so much more receptive to our culture and, you know, our music or whatever. But New York was like, it was iffy sometimes. Like sometimes we would get some shows where they were like receptive, and sometimes they would just be like, well, we're on stage, you know what I mean? So it was almost like we almost had this aura that you had something to prove, so to speak. You know? And we kind of had that a couple of times, and then when we opened our mouths and sang, they were like, oh, so they're not whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, growing up in New York, that's always been a thing, whether it's music, whether it's you just hanging out with your girls and going to the park after school. There's always those crews that want to see who you are and they want you to prove yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's always been a thing. But I think we've always had a fair share of, like, if we went to Virginia, I know down south, No Question was the song for them. They loved No Question.
Yes.
And if we didn't perform that, they were like, why are you not singing that? And we were like, maybe next time, you know?
Right.
But we had like a different, you know, reaction every single time. But like All Cried Out, for sure. All Cried Out, Last Chance, and what was the other one? And No Question were the ones that like really hit. But when they hear Head Over Heels and Enjoy Yourself, they're like, oh wow, I remember them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
it's always different.
Did you guys tour a lot overseas? How was that?
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. The first time we went to Japan, we were like super homesick. That was the first time that we ever left the States, period.
Okay.
And I remember how hard it was. Like at the time, I was the only one that had a child. So like for me, I was like, you know, my baby's like hanging onto the cab. Like I can't go with you because she was always attached to the hip. And though, you know, they were like, those are titis, you know, so they were like, oh, we'll be back, whatever. It was always hard, like traveling overseas, but it was like one of the best experiences ever. Just to feel the love and like to go to Japan and see that these people can barely speak English, but they know every single lyric of your song.
Yes.
It was a thing that even now, like we went back to Australia, probably after like 10 years. We went back about a year and a half ago with SWV. And
Okay, nice. Yes.
these people latched onto a brand new song that we recorded. They were singing it, the chorus, as if they knew it for like 3 months.
Wow.
You know, so
Yeah.
like when you get that kind of vibe, it feels good because, you know, at the same time, like I said before, we know that our sound or our music or whatever might not be for everybody, but to go back to a place where people actually like love and receive you,
Yeah.
it's a feeling that's humbling, and we've always been humble. Like we were the girls that were like signed to Mariah and still on the train, and people were like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, and we were like, "We're city girls, like we're used to it." So
Right.
but at the end of the day, it just always feels good to go somewhere and people still remember who you are and they remember your lyrics, and it's like, and to see how people receive it and they said that it touched them in some kind of way, it's like it's a blessing beyond.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. I love
Yeah.
it. You guys represent New York City. Yes.
We try. We try.
I love it. So let's fast forward now. So what have you guys been working on? I know I saw you guys perform one of your new songs. What's
Yeah.
going on now? What are you guys doing?
Well, the last song that we came out with was with Chloe's Camp with Brook Brothers.
Yes.
Um, Shout out to
Shout out to
Swizz and
Chloe.
Chloe. Shout out to JJ and Chanel. The song was called Like I Do. It's actually out on YouTube. We're working on trying to like hopefully maybe re-promote it because everybody's been asking like when it's gonna be on iTunes and whatever. So we're gonna definitely go back and maybe revisit some things, and we're working on an EP and then next an album. You know, we're still in the process of working, but with the whole COVID thing, it's been hard to like get out and actually get into the
Yeah.
studio. But we've definitely been in conversation with a few producers and songwriters to get back in and do some work. And for right now, just we're working on some things. We're not going to say exactly what it is, but you can look out for Gag. I'm going to say
Okay.
Gag. It's something
Okay.
that we've been working on for a while. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for us to be able to just like hit different avenues and do stuff that we love. You know, like eventually the acting will come in and, you know, and other things. But we've just always been so like, you know, just kind of like hell bent on like just making the music happen, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely we're gonna go back into the studio and record some more stuff because everybody's been asking, and we hate to keep saying like, oh, the spring, the summer. We're like, it's coming, but you know, we'll keep you posted. But we're definitely gonna get back to work hopefully in the next like couple of months or so. Once all this cloud goes away.
Exactly. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. Yes,
Thank
I'm so
you. So
excited.
we are too. We are too.
Yes. So, speaking of acting, I've been seeing you doing a little something, something.
That's something.
Yeah. So you were working on a film called Pressure, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What got you into that, and what's it about?
Well, first, I know a few people know that I'm a co-host for a radio show with BKS1 Radio with Norman
Okay.
Bradley. We've been doing, me and the girls started doing it, and then we kind of stopped and we kind of like went back to the music, and then I kind of went back and helped him out with a show or whatever. And then when we were working together, a woman by the name of Juanita Caring's Hearts, she came to us with a play that she was working on. So basically, tell her side of a story towards domestic violence.
Okay.
And she somebody was in the play and they kind of like backed out, and she asked Norm, and then she was like, well, I need another female to be your wife. So he asked me, and I was like, well, yeah, why not? You know, because I think everybody has a certain story.
Right.
And within the three of us, we definitely have a connection with domestic violence, and you know, with stuff that's so hard to talk about. So that was kind of a way for me to be able to represent for the group and kind of like get into a feel of maybe just expressing a message, you know, because it still goes on today, and it's not just a woman thing, and that was the main thing because my character played somebody who was completely opposite of who I am. I was like this, if I can curse. I
Yeah.
was a bitch. I was a bitch. Like I was married to him, and I was just like I wasn't appreciative of him. Um, and I just played his wife, who was like a church wife. But at the end of the day, I just got tired of being like that, you know, that by the book girl, and I just started treating him like crap. And we're gonna try to record it to see if we can put it out there. I don't want to give it all away, but
Okay.
it basically showed a different side of domestic violence as far as like what men receive. And I think and we think that that's very
Okay.
important, you know, because as women we go through it a lot, but
Yeah.
not people don't talk about what men go through either. And I think
I,
that that's very
I
unfair.
agree.
You know, there's a lot of women out here that get stone cold honor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of women out here that they get the world, but they're still unsatisfied to the point where they feel like I can talk to my man and you know, raise my hands to him and act like I'm a dude too. And it's like, it's not cool. So so it started with the play, and then when we worked on Like I Do, Chanel came to me and said that she had a script for the movie Pressure, and she was like, I have a character that I want you to play. Are you interested? So I was like, yeah, why not? So I read the script, and I was like, this is so me. And that was my thing. Like when you guys get a chance to like really see it, I basically felt like I wasn't even acting. It felt like I was basically telling a side of me, you know, a part of my story as far as like things that I've been through in my own personal life, you know, with love and relationships and stuff. And it was kind of refreshing just to kind of get that out, you know. But Pressure is just a story. It's a story about you know, a love story that just went wrong. You know, being in love with a guy who wants to be everywhere and with everyone, you know, and has to go through like hell to realize that the person that he put through hell was the one for him the whole time. You know, so and then we have all these different characters, but it's a really, really interesting, and it was fun. It's funny, and the soundtrack's gonna be amazing. You know, so we're working on some stuff for us to be on the soundtrack too. So that's pretty much what's been in the works, and Chanel's actually working on some more scripts. So next time you're gonna probably see the rest of the girls and all of us kind of combining, you know, our artistic, you know, our views on different things. But it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about everything. I really am.
That's so cool that you're tapping into that artistic side of you.
Yeah, definitely.
So where can we catch the first two that you mentioned? Can we watch it anywhere right now? On what?
Well, yeah. Well, we're gonna work on. We've been talking to the woman that did the play about going back to actually just do the play over and actually have it recorded so we can like, you know, give it out on DVD and stuff like that. As far as the movie, it's in progress right now. Like they were like working on editing and stuff like that. So we don't have a date just yet, but we're gonna definitely keep everybody posted online so that, you know, with like the little trailers and stuff to kind of keep everybody abreast of what's going on. Because COVID put a hold on everything. Like literally, we were like right there, and we were like, okay, you know, so yeah, it's been interesting.
But it's all right. Everything happens when it's supposed to.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be great, and I can't wait to watch it.
Thank you.
So you're acting, you're singing. What else is going on in your life right now?
Just trying to maintain. That's it. You know, I'm mommy, grandma. My grandson is like the core of me. You know, he's autistic. My grandson Justice. So like 99.999% of my life goes to him. You know, and Lalisha also is raising her son who was diagnosed autistic as well. So like, you know, we're mommies, grandmas, and titis basically, you know, helping one another with our kids and stuff. And my main priority right now is just making sure that my family is good, and my family has always included my group. You know, they're my sisters, they're family. And right now we're just focusing on that. We're focusing on keeping our mindset good because with this whole pandemic, it's really put like a lot of pressure and just anxiety, you know, on everybody. You know, so and honestly, like I go through my anxiety, depression, I go through a lot, and the girls have really been keeping me like on a straight and narrow. Like when I go through my stuff, I don't even call them. But you know, the main thing is just to keep each other focused and to keep each other sane. So when it's time to go back in, we're coming back with our A game. That's the most important part, you know. And just taking care of house and home. That's it.
I agree 100% with that. Yeah, because I've seen you posting a lot of stuff. Like I love it because you're outspoken. So you like tell it like it is. Tell it how you feel. Yeah. So I've been seeing that, you know, and I'm like, oh man, like I've been wanting to reach out and like, you know, have that conversation with you just to make sure you're okay. So
I know some people think that it's too much, but I like when I was younger, I was very passive. Like I didn't really say how I felt too much, and that brought on other traumas, you know. But now, you know, at 43, I'm just like, you know, I feel like you don't have to put everything out there. There's certain things that you definitely should keep private and keep to yourself. But I feel like with my life, like, you know, raising an autistic child and having the career that I have and knowing that we have a story, I feel like it's always good to at least share something because you never know who's out there. You know what I mean? I got a DM yesterday from a girl that started following me, and she was like, "You're so positive and you're so beautiful." And this, and it's like, you know, sometimes we don't see ourselves that way, but if you put out the right content, then you say, like, you know, like I like to be funny. I'm funny. I could be obnoxious sometimes. I put out stuff that my sense of humor can be a little dark sometimes, but I'm who I am. You know? One thing I'm not going to be is fake. So I feel like if I can at least touch one person, even if it's to laugh or to feel like they can relate, because there's so many kids like that have like families that are raising kids with autism. And I got a lot of support through Instagram. you know, through like family, friends, and whatever. So I feel like it's always good to at least, if you're gonna post something, and if it's not gonna be funny, let it be inspiring. Let it touch somebody.
Right.
In some way,
Right.
shape, or form. You know, everybody's not gonna like everything, but you know, I hope that whatever I do post is kind of inspiring to some degree.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's something that I always say. You know, no matter what I do, no matter what I succeed in or what I've been through, like I'm always gonna walk into every space authentically me, and everything
Definitely.
that I'm gonna put out there is authentically me. And you know,
Yeah.
that's what I love about you. That it's not about anything else but just you being transparent. And
Yeah.
you're right. You know, a lot of people that's what they look for. They want to connect with something that's real and something that's genuine. You know, because there's
Yeah.
so many other fluff out there, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but who's talking about the real issues that we're going through so we can
Exactly.
connect? Some people don't have a community, right? And
At
that's how you
all.
kind of build your community.
At all. And
Yeah.
I feel like right like nowadays I think that a lot of people are like they so many people they're like a walking contradiction. You know,
Yes.
I think people feel like it's so much more important to show what they have materialistically. You know, their cars, their houses, their this, their that, and it's like, is that it? Because
Mm-hmm.
other than that, like there's so many families and people out here who don't have anything, but they're still rich. If you get what I'm
Right.
saying. So at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's like, you know, do we just sit here? It's about to rain, I think. That's great. Oh wow, lightning. I just feel like it's always important to like just keep it real, you know, in a sense, like,
Yeah.
and keep it real doesn't have to be like gangster. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I shot somebody, I sold drugs. Keep it real can just be like, you know what, I'm going through like a traumatic time in my life, and I have my family, I have these things, but if I can talk about it, it can be inspiring to somebody else and help them to push on and encourage somebody else. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think society in general has lost sight of that, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Absolutely, because it's like, you know, the money, the cars, you know, the drugs, all this stuff. It's like, okay, but then who are you? Like, without that,
Right.
who are you? Right?
Exactly, and I
What
think that is very
defines you?
important. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna be online and show this lifestyle and show, you know, this facade, I always say, like the one thing that I have a pet peeve about is like knowing people in real life, and then seeing how they post, and it's like, really, dude, like that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. You know what I mean? Like I know you in real life, like they'll hold the
Right.
type. You know what I mean? So it's like who are you fooling, so to speak? But some people
Right.
don't care. They it's more important to hold up the facade than to kind of just be real with it, and I don't respect that at all.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know,
I
at
agree
all.
100%. Yeah. And I know you're on your way out, so I won't keep you too much longer. But I do
Oh
want to
no, I'm
ask
just going to the
you.
umbrella because it started raining. I was like, let me go to the
Oh,
umbrella.
okay. So I do want to ask you if you can change anything from the past or anything in your life, what would it be and what would you, why would you change it?
Wow. I don't. Wow, that's really an interesting question. Like, I don't really have too many regrets, so to speak. I feel like if I could change anything, I could change, um, just how I managed my life. You know what I mean? Like when we first came out, I put a lot of things into priority that I shouldn't have. A lot of
Okay.
people into priority that I shouldn't have, and I feel like if I would have been able to maybe put me first and understand how important that is, um,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe certain things in my life would have been different. Because there's a lot of things that I didn't do that I wish that I would have. But at the end of
Right.
the day, I know that it's never too late. Like I'm one of those people that I'm like, even if it takes the next 20 years, if I can at least accomplish one more or two more things that I didn't get a chance to, I'm gonna go after it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so like maybe just that, just maybe just being more knowledgeable of certain things and certain people, um,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, you know, just really researching certain things to like kind of like prepare me for what's about to happen, especially with our
Yeah.
first deal. You know, with certain deals or whatever the
Yeah.
case is. We always say
Mm-hmm.
that we always encourage people, like if they're gonna be like if they want to pursue like a singing career, whatever the case is, like really do your
Yeah.
research and get a team that's like for you, and that's not gonna just be yes men. You know what I mean? They're gonna tell you like, look, research this because this doesn't feel right. You get people that'll be
Right.
like, yeah, 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 because they feel like they're gonna benefit from it. You know what I mean? And we got caught up in a lot of stuff um, because we trusted too many people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm just not that I have a trust issue, but at the end of the day, I'm just a little bit more. I don't know. Like I try not to be too skeptical of people and things, but at the same time, just to kind of like be prepared for it. You know what I mean? To be smarter
Yeah.
about how I approach situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
love,
And
life, yeah, everything.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because we do
definitely.
get caught up in trying to pursue our goals that we forget to enjoy life, and
And
these
make
years
everybody
go
else
by us
happy.
so
Oh,
fast.
oh yeah. And then we, you
Yeah.
know, when you concentrate too much about making everybody else happy before yourself, that's like the worst.
Yes.
I learned in these past like 3 years, 3, 4 years, that's the worst thing you can do to yourself is to put
Yeah.
everything and everybody, unless it's your kids.
Mhm.
Like if you're gonna keep on making everybody else a priority when you're just an option, that's the worst thing that you can do to yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like for self love, that's what people need to learn now. Like, you know, put yourself first and understand what you need for yourself and for your family and for the betterment of yourself to be able to move forward before you start here to everybody else. You know,
It's so true. And once you
because it
develop
kills.
that self, yeah, once you develop that self love, also your decision making starts to change and it starts getting so much
Yeah,
better because now you know what is
absolutely.
good for you, what is not good for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So I know you
definitely.
said if you would give, yeah, so I know you said if you would give advice, you would tell, upcoming artists, makers, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Besides that, what else would you advise them in this current time? How the music biz is.
Um, just to really like own into your craft, like really, you know, really make sure what you want to do first and foremost. You know, like I said, do your research, get a lawyer, a
Mhm.
good lawyer that's gonna be able to really, really like tell you what's right and wrong. Because even with some lawyers, they're looking out for themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think for artists nowadays, the best thing is for you to do is to like just have a team that is solely working for you. Like, of course, everybody has to get paid. Everybody wants to, you know, get credit. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if the artist isn't right, are you going to be right? So
Right.
if you're gonna create an atmosphere that's gonna be, you know, all over the place, then you can't expect any good to come from that. You know,
Yeah.
and honestly, like first things first, keep God first, and just be, you know, keep praying and just
Amen.
try to be as positive as possible and as smart as possible because, you know, like I said, we went into this thing blind on so many levels, and we were very
Hmm.
naive, and you know, we just wanted to sing, so we didn't care about anything else. But
Right.
now that we know, we're like, okay, this happened before, so it's not gonna happen again. Now we know better this time. You know, so
Exactly. Exactly.
just to really know who's around you and to really just keep people that you trust around you because people can be a doozy, you know, and then by the
Mhm.
time you know it, it's 13 years later and you're homeless or, you know, anything could happen. We see stories all the time,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
so
It's
yeah,
it's so true. And
yeah.
one more thing about that. Do you recommend that artists go independent or with a label at this time?
Um, there's a huge plus with going independent, honestly, because like I said, you know, when you go independent, um, of course, you know, most financially you can do a lot better because everything's coming to you. Aside from
Hmm.
paying, you know, whoever's helping you with your project, whatever the case is, but there are also ups, you know, to being signed by a label as
Yeah.
well, as long as the label's gonna do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
You know, like labels aren't really what they used to be. Like the machines were bigger. You know,
Yeah.
there was like this family atmosphere where you can
Yes.
tell like they're gonna work for you to get you out there. I just
Hmm.
haven't. Maybe because we haven't really been on the label situation for some years now, we don't really know if that vibe is even still there.
Hmm.
Um, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like personally, like if you're an independent artist, um, like anybody can be out there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's so much gimmick and so much like rocky thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just say whatever
Hmm.
and get a hit record. Like there's no substance with a lot of different artists. And it's not to throw shade, but I come from the '90s, an era that was like one of the best eras in music.
Right.
You know, when you think about the
Agree.
'90s, yeah, you think about the '90s, you think about Diddy, you think about Bad Boy, you think about Trackmasters, you think about Missy's Camp. You know what I mean? So like, you look back at all that music that came out that kind of paved the way even for us. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like to kind of get back to that would be a blessing because now it's just like it's like I don't know, like I can't even identify with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I
me
agree.
personally.
Mhm.
You know,
I
but
agree. I agree with you. Yeah.
yeah,
I think we
definitely.
have a little late comer in here, but I don't want to
Oh, we
skip
did.
her question. She asked, "What is your favorite Allure song?" We mentioned a few of them earlier, so if you can share them with her. And this is Cheryl, one and only Cheryl.
Wait, you kind of went in and out. She said what again? Oh, what is your favorite
Oh,
Lil
that's
song?
some.
Oh,
Yes.
I just saw it. Shower one. My favorite
Yes.
Lil song. Wow. I say it all the time. You're gonna love me from the first album.
Hmm.
It
Okay.
depends. It depends on what album. Of course, you know everybody. People say like my mom saw Mama said was a good one, and that's one of my favorites because it's you know it's touched people that I know personally who lost their mom, and it helped them cope with that. But as far as like what I can really, really relate to aside from that one, it would be You're Gonna Love Me. And then like for another album would be like Bittersweet. It's always songs that are like related to stuff that I've actually been through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of our favorite songs are stuff that me and the girls have actually like gone through stuff. Like we're really like telling the story here, you know what I mean? And that's important. So, but I would definitely say You're Gonna Love Me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get to ask you actually. Did you guys write a lot of your songs?
On the first album, no. On the first album, we pretty much let like, cause we had like all the features like Nas and Raekwon and LL. Mary J. Blige wrote for us, and we're grateful for that.
Nice.
Billy Lawrence. We did most of our writing on our second album, but the majority of the writing that we did was on our third album with Ron Artest, where he just let us like just do whatever. Yeah. We were able to like really talk about a lot of stuff that was going on and kind of like branch out with the writing stuff. So we did more on the third album.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Yeah, thank you for joining us this
It was
evening
so good.
and for sharing your
Absolutely.
beach life with us. Yes. So I always
Yeah, it started
all of
getting.
my
I don't know if you can
guests.
see the sky. Tao Kudo, look at that.
Yes, I know.
Start.
So I always ask all of my guests before they go, if you can just tell us what makes you fearless.
Oh wow, my grandson.
Okay.
My grandson
I love
definitely. My
that.
my grandson and my kids. Only because
Yeah.
like when I first found out about autism, the first time that I ever heard about autism was when my grandson was diagnosed. Actually, I didn't really have too much knowledge about it. And we know that there's a lot of like disabilities that are like out there. But to experience it firsthand, to see him going through seizures and to see him going through not being able to speak, and now he's like not saying words, but he's singing soundtracks to songs and he knows lines and he acts things out. He makes me feel this because I feel like the world, you encounter a lot of people when you're walking in the street with him sometimes, and his thing is he wants to like hug everybody and grab you and hug you, and he's very affectionate. But people, I've had certain times where people are like, ugh, like actually looking at him like he's a monster, and I'm like, he was just trying to say hi. So, and I had to really just like kind of learn to like, okay, like kind of just hold that in, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel like because he doesn't know what's going on, he can't identify with any of that negative crap.
Right.
So I just feel like if I can be, or his mom can be the voice of reason for him, or the one that kind of goes out there and fights for him until he can actually speak and say how he feels, that's something that's a confidence and a strength that I don't think anybody could have ever given me, to be honest. I can't have any more kids now, but I think he was the reason why he came. That's the reason why he came into my life, to give me that blessing of having something else to kind of like to love on so hard, like you get your kids, but grandkids, they're another level of like, of like this admiration. Like he's like my whole heart, seriously.
Yeah.
So I would have to say like my kids are the ones that keep me that way. Yeah, definitely. And my friends and family and people like you, of course.
Yes. Likewise. Thank you so much for
Of
sharing that
course.
and for being so open and
Of course.
vulnerable today with us. I really appreciate it. I can't wait
I
to see you
appreciate
in
you.
person.
I know.
Yes.
Oh my God, it feels like 2 years already, right?
I know. Let's definitely plan something. I'm gonna reach out to you. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna let you go be with the family and say hello to the girls for me. Okay?
I will. I definitely will. It was good seeing your face, Mama.
Yes, likewise. Have a good night.
Love you.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. It was so raw and honest, and she's just such an amazing person, and she's always like this. Every time I see her, she's just so dope. Thank you guys for whoever's joining in a little late. We were just chatting with Akissa from the R&B group Allure. She just got off with us. She gave us a great interview. We did a walk down memory lane. She shared all the things that she's passionate about. She talked a little bit about the music industry, their upcoming projects. So I'm super excited to see what they're working on and also to see Akissa acting. That's going to be pretty dope. So thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm going to put up the full show on my YouTube page and on the website, and it'll also be on my IGTV. for a little while. I think it's there for a while. Thank you, everybody that joined in. I saw my brother pop in. I saw my girl Alicia pop in. Hey, Punch Dollars. I haven't seen you in a minute too. And if you guys want to follow her, actually, if you look down into my pinned comment, her Instagram is there. And then you can also go on her page and see the Allure Instagram and check out the ladies and support them, because they definitely have a genuine heart. Like, no success has made them indifferent. Like, they are humble women. They're beautiful. They're amazing. They have great voices. I'm going to try to play a clip of them when they came on my show and they sang a piece of All Cried Out, because that was awesome. I'm going to try to share that on my page soon. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I only have one guest for today because I wanted to keep it light. So I'll see you guys next week, Monday. And of course, like I mentioned, if you want to check out all of the quarantine shows that I've done, definitely go on the website. If you want to catch my old shows, I've had some really, really amazing guests on there. Definitely go on the website. The website is all over my page. I have a few Instagram pages, so you guys can just go on my main page and then click through and stuff like that. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a good night. If you guys want to see me interview anyone, hey Lynn, if you guys want to see me interview anyone, definitely let me know. Shoot me a DM. Let me know who you would like me to interview. And yeah, I'll work on bringing them on. So thank you guys again. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Blessings.